Hello and welcome to today's video. We're going over the LEC and previewing the 2024 free agency period. On the board, you see who are currently under contract beyond the end of November on their current teams. You may see that the farm animals, sheep, and that's not sheep. Sheep are a farm animal. That they have their rumors, sources, etc. I do not play in rumors until pen hits paper, and on the global contract database does it show a player has changed teams or been let go. I don't give a shit. That's the deal here. A lot of players under contract, similar to the LCS. I'm seeing now that the two Western regions certainly have more players under contract than the Eastern regions. So, Fnatic, the only player not under contract beyond November is Oscarinen. So technically, they could run those four other players back. There are rumors that some players go here, there, and everywhere. But we also have to think that's tampering. If a player has not been allowed to seek other opportunities, which we do see as a description from time to time, amongst players and Leaguepedia, etc., then it's tampering for a team to talk to another player without them being a free agent. We may get all giddy and excited that there are roster moves, etc., but in the end, it is contract tampering, player tampering, and we don't like contract prisons. We don't like when teams screw over players. We don't like this. We don't like that. Then maybe we should actually be firm and hold teams accountable and players accountable and agents accountable across the board. Otherwise, hell yeah, I guess players can get screwed because if we're okay with movement prior to the end of free agency and things like that when it technically isn't considered appropriate, then we might as well allow it all because, I mean, it's all minor in the grand scheme of things. In that way, they're all equal. So G2, everybody's under contract beyond November, so they could run it back as well. Giant X, Jackies, and Patrick are under contract. Jackie's, of course, a player to build around. Patrick's been there forever. The Antonio retired. Peach and Juhan are out. Free agents, Ignar as well. KC, Vladi, and Targamas are under contract beyond November. Vladi, of course, somebody they want to build around. Rumor has it. Well, actually, they've wanted to bring up Kalist for a while, so I wouldn't be shocked to see Kalist in this team. But that is a thing. Topside free agents. Mad Lions Koi, like G2, they could run it back. All 5 players. Rogue, Sisgenda, and Larson are under contract, but Sisgenda was, replaced by Finn midway through the season, but technically, Rogue still have him under contract. SK Isma Rahel. And by the way, the players represented in black are imports. BDS, all 5 players are free agents. There are only probably a handful of teams that I can say this about right now in LOL Esports Tier 1 right now. It's incredible. So BDS, all 5 players are free agents. Team Heretics, jungle and mid are open. And Vitality, top lane, and support are open. Linkus, Vethio, Karzi under contract, Heretics, Wonder, Flacket, and Kaiser. Yes, Kaiser was replaced by Trimby, but technically Kaiser's still under contract. So, interesting, right? That we could have G2 and Mad still run back all 5 players. Now, we have seen plenty of rumors online and things like that of how these teams have made moves. Maybe the players themselves have said that they've made the moves, but until that contract is signed in the database, it doesn't matter to me because until you're getting paid and all the T's are crossed and I's are dotted on a contract, especially in esports with so many, like I said, dirty antics being played by players, teams, and agents and outside people and outside sources that are putting their nose in places and things like that. There are a ton of rats in esports, like even more so than traditional sports. It's that's one of the ways that if esports want to be respected more going forward, esports are going to have to get rid of the rats. The infestation is out of this world. So that is a thing. But either way, this is the deal. with LEC as of the moment. Now on to the free agents. All right, so on the board we have the list of players that were not on the other board. So, of course, there are plenty of free agents in ERLs, etc. Europe, of course, unique in that way that there are so many tiers of play. In my opinion, Europe has the best player development system overall in terms of regional play out of what were the four major regions, but now LOL esports in general. And on the board, and like I said, in black, we have the players that were imports last summer. But in top lane, Oscarinen, Kana, Cabochard, Finn, Irrelevant, Adam, Photon. I mean, Photon would be a great ad for a lot of these teams. I think Photon is pretty solid by Western standards for an import. Vitality were a tire fire. Some people want to blame him. I think he was burned out by it all after years of carrying Bo's ass and then everybody else. I think that he could be a player that could go to an international tournament and not look out of place, personally. Irrelevant, solid, and Oscar, a player with a very bright future still, been playing, in my opinion, just fine in top lane, and, maybe internationally he gets a little outdone, but he is a Western player, and he's a younger player, so that's going to happen. Jungle role, Peach, Closer, Bo, Marcoon, Sheo, and Yankos. Of course, Yankos' name speaks for himself. Maybe he's not quite the carry he was before, but he can do the job at a high level, especially with a younger team. Sheo, solid. And the others, very. You're kind of getting in the nitty gritty. Mid lane, Seiken, Niski, Nuke, and Zero. I would say Nuke and Niski are two players that, have been around the block. Niski, of course, similar to Yankos in a way, could play a lower resource role and help a younger team out in a big way and really get quite far. I'm honestly surprised SK would want to move on from him. Personally, I think alongside Isma. Isma's not carry-oriented jungler. But he'd be good alongside a carry-oriented jungler, but a younger player as well, like Isma. Or even Rahel in bot lane for SK. Those are two players that Niski kind of fit on that team. Honestly, very good. Nuke, I could see on that team, though, as well now, because he can do higher resource play. We saw him carry at times with BDS in resources and damage. Bot lane, Upset, Comp, Exakick, Ice. Technically, Exakick probably shouldn't have even been on the board. He's still under contract with SK, but I'm pretty sure he's announced that he's with Carmine Corp Blue. Like I said, free agency is a thing that doesn't start to the end of the month. So when contracts hit, when contracts are finalized, he won't be a free agent anymore. Exakick, I don't know why he chose to go to KC Blue. That made no sense. Kalista's going to probably be the starter. Why is Exakick doing this? A player that I think is super, super fucking good at the game, and for some reason just married himself to DOS with SK for way too long and should have just said, no, give me a different support. Exakick is a player that should be in the LEC. He's one of the better players in the LEC in his role. ERL-wise, I think bot lane is definitely a role that leaves a lot to be desired. It's very weak in my opinion. I feel like top jungle mid support and are in a much better place than bot lane. Ice, Korean import player, solid in the LEC, but probably not good enough to go back to the East and play at a high level. Excuse me. Support, Ignar, Zolis, Luan, Lebrav, Trimby, Hillisung. I've seen rumors that Trimby may be going overseas to the Americas region. I think he's a top 5 Western support easily. His champion pool speaks for itself. I think he has the open-mindedness to really make a difference in that role. I do not hide how I feel about that role being something that should be, throwing some question marks into the mix, messing around, making things happen, and I think Trimby does it at a high level. Lebrav, solid player. Luan alongside Rahel, I thought did a decent job, especially for a guy that no one really knew a lot about. Now they got rid of him, and maybe we see Rahel paired with Ignar or somebody else, but I believe that I don't know what Luan's going to do, to be honest with you. Zoli's a player that probably deserved a longer leash. And Ignar, hell, he's went to Worlds a couple times in incredible fashion, right? Surprising a lot of people with NRG last year and in FlyQuest years prior. If he continues to play League of Legends, like I said, maybe a player alongside Rahel. I don't know. I think he probably has military service he's eventually got to do here. But I mean, like I said, though, this is only the list of players that are not on teams that were on teams this past summer. ERLs, there are countless players right now in available, many options. Former LEC players that play in ERLs, and I think that there are you know endless possibilities for in that case. So thank you for watching. If you liked the video, like it, subscribe to the channel for daily League of Legends content. Follow me on Twitter, join the Discord, become a YouTube supporter, and hope to see you again tomorrow.